What's going on, guys? It was a wild weekend of the NFL again. Can't believe that this was the last week of the NFL season and the playoffs are upon us. Going to give you guys the seedings and everything that's to come with these playoffs. We know that Baltimore clinched the number one seed. The rest of the seeds for the playoffs is the 2 seed is Buffalo. They're playing the 7 seed Pittsburgh. With Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin had his 17th consecutive winning season. They got in because they got help from the Jaguars, so they were able to get in and sneak into the playoffs. They're playing Buffalo, who's the 2 seed. Buffalo just beat the Dolphins last night. Buffalo has came back and won their division after fumbling the bag in the first half of the season, but they had a strong second half of the season to get in there. With this matchup between Buffalo and Pittsburgh, I think that Buffalo has the upper hand. Obviously, T.J. Watt got hurt for Pittsburgh on Saturday. We don't know the extent of his injury and how bad it's going to be, or how it might not be bad, but we don't know if he's going to be available this weekend to play. I don't really give Pittsburgh a chance, being that they're going to Buffalo, and Buffalo's hot right now. Josh Allen, all he needs to do for Buffalo is just control the ball. Don't make any silly turnovers. Do what you guys do. Y'all defense has played better over the last 4 or 5 games. So keep doing what y'all doing. Buffalo should get that game. And they should move on. Whoever wins between Buffalo and Pittsburgh will obviously go to Baltimore and play. So that's not going to be an easy matchup between whoever wins between Pittsburgh or Buffalo. The number 3 and 6 seed, the number 3 seed Kansas City, the number 6 seed Miami, the Dolphins. I think that Kansas City's going to get their act together. It's playoff time. You know Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is going to have their best game. You know their defense is going to be pumped up and ready to go. With Steve Sarkisian, might be getting his name wrong, defensive coordinator. But you know they're going to be pumped up and ready to go. With the Dolphins, you can't trust the Dolphins. Every big game that there is, the Dolphins find a way to get smacked. They find a way to do the unthinkable. They in the big situation, the Dolphins are not that team. And every time we went over this over and over again, every time they played an above 500 team, they cracked every time. They just lost the game last night to Buffalo. The Dolphins had the division early in the season. They basically ran away with the division early in the season, and then they started slipping, and Buffalo was on the come up, and Buffalo took the division right under the Dolphins' hands. So I'm really concerned about the Dolphins. But the storyline of this game is it's going to be Tua versus Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City to try to get revenge versus his old team. One thing about it, Tyreek Hill's probably going to have a good game. It's hard to stop him. They don't call him cheater for no reason. It's hard to stop the guy. But if Tua is just going to force feed Tyreek Hill the ball and double coverage like Tua did last night, then it's going to be a problem. Obviously, Andy Reid and the Chiefs know how to defend Tyreek Hill. They know how to stop him for the years of him being with Kansas City. That does not mean that it's going to be an easy task, but they have an easy scouting report on him of what he does well and what he doesn't do well. Like I said, Kansas City's probably going to get their act together. I expect that their guys, their wide receivers, are going to actually catch the ball. It's playoff time. They're ready to go. I would not be surprised if they got to the Super Bowl, because when it's playoff time, those guys are focused and they're there to do what they need to do. I would be shocked if they lost that Arrowhead against the Dolphins. I would really be shocked. The number 4 and 5 seed, the number 4 seed Houston Texans are going against number 5 seed Cleveland Browns. We know about the Browns defense. They're top notch up there with Baltimore's defense. There's no question about it. Just call it like it is. Their defense is top notch. But Joe Flacco has had a resurgence in his career. The only way Cleveland gets in their own way is if Joe Flacco messes it up. That defense is going to do what they need to do. They're going to do what they need to do. It's going to depend on the offense and whether Joe Flacco can have a good game and lead them, not turn the ball over, not make mistakes. That's what it's going to come down to. But Joe Flacco has shown that he can control the game still and that he can win in the NFL. But I'm still concerned about Flacco. But you have a young Houston Texans team that they're playing. They've never been to the playoffs before. They had a rookie head coach in DeMeco Ryans. They had a rookie starting quarterback in C.J. Stroud, and they overseeded all expectations all year. Overseeded all expectations. Won that game against the Colts. They got the division in the AFC South. The Jaguars were eliminated, and the Texans were able to take the division. Nobody's seen that coming. Everything that the Texans have done this year, nobody's seen this coming. We all expected the Texans to be in a rebuild and possibly picking first, second, and third in the draft. Nope. They said, we're going to go make the playoffs. C.J. Stroud should be the rookie of the year this year. He really should, because that guy played like he was a 10-year veteran. And he's for a rookie, he's just so calm, cool, and collected. Like nothing ever bothers him. If the game is going bad, you wouldn't think that the game is going bad because he's not going to show any emotion. He's going to have the same face whether they're winning. He's going to have the same face whether they're losing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Houston won this game because they've already exceeded all expectations. So if they win this game, being that it's a home game for them, I wouldn't be surprised. They're at home. They're a young playoff team. So those young playoff teams, they're going to feed off that home crowd. But it's the question of, do they have experience in the playoffs, which is no, because that roster is a young roster. So that's going to be an exciting matchup, but I just would not be surprised if those guys pulled it off because they pulled off everything else this season and surprised us. So I wouldn't, why would they not do it now? That's the AFC. Transitioning to the NFC. You have the 1 seed San Francisco 49ers. We know what the 49ers did this year. They get a bye. The 2 seed going against the 7 seed. 2 seed Dallas Cowboys going against the Green Bay Packers. That's a juicy topic too. With Mike McCarthy facing his former team. You know Mike McCarthy used to coach Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. Now he's going against his former team. Mind you, the Dallas Cowboys had a perfect record this year at home. I think they were a perfect 7-0 at home this year. They should be pumped up and ready to go. We know what that defense is going to do. But with the offense, Dak, it's your time now. Dak, it is your time. You either going to show up or you're going to fall flat on your face. So, obviously, the Dallas Cowboys are our favorite, but you know when these playoffs come, the Cowboys, they're a whole different team. But like I said, they're perfect at home. So, the frustrating thing about the Cowboys is you just don't know what to expect because it's the playoffs. You don't know what to expect. Maybe Green Bay comes in there and Jordan Love comes in there and they just ball out and they just shock the world. I don't know. You don't know what you're going to get from the Cowboys 1 week to the next. You just don't know. Micah Parsons is going to have a good game. They're going to have to run the ball with Tony Pollard. That's one thing they kind of got away from, running the ball with Pollard. It just kind of pass. But they were a much better balanced offense with running the ball and passing the ball this year. But I don't know what to expect from the Cowboys. We don't know if they're going to win. We don't know if they're going to lose. Yes, they are the favorites, but we don't know what they're going to do. The number 3 seed and number 6 seed is another storyline. It's Detroit number 3 seed, the Rams number 6 seed. With Detroit, they traded for Jared Goff from the Rams for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford used to play for Detroit. Jared Goff used to play for the Rams. Now those two teams are going against each other. Detroit is obviously the favorite. And they should beat those guys being at this home playoff game. But just like Dallas, we don't know what to expect from Detroit in the playoffs. When Detroit gets to the playoffs, they lose the first wild card weekend. They lose. They're out. But this is a whole nother different Detroit team that has surprised us all year. They should win that game, but I would not underestimate the Rams and Sean McVay after they just came off a Super Bowl 2 years ago. I would not underestimate those guys. Again, just like the Texans, the Rams seemed like they were in rebuild mode and they were looking to replenish their roster. Well, they went 10-7 and made the playoffs. Puka Nacua, the rookie wide receiver, had a rookie year for the ages. We didn't even know who this guy was. We know who he is now. He's here to help out Cooper Kupp, which I think that Cooper's going to have a good playoff game this weekend. With Detroit's side, man, Detroit is a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, you got Goff, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams, Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive end, and then you got the two running backs, David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. They're a handful. They are a handful by itself. That's going to be a hard game. But I think that Sean McVay is going to come up with a great defensive game plan to try and stop those guys. But that's too much. That is a hard offense to stop. I'm telling you, Detroit's probably going to show up this game. They are probably going to do their thing. But it's not going to be easy. I'm rooting for Detroit, though. They deserve some good luck, especially after what happened with them and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are still going to be getting their karma, right? But Detroit, y'all got some good coming to y'all. Y'all got some good coming to y'all because y'all are the 3 seed and the Cowboys were the 2 seed. That should be flipped around because of that game, but it's not. So Detroit, I wish y'all the best. Y'all got all the good things coming to y'all. Don't worry about it. It's playoffs now. Y'all got it. Y'all good. The number 4 seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus number 5 seed Philadelphia Eagles. I know what you guys are probably all thinking. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. The Eagles are going to have it their way. It's going to be easy. They're going to blow out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got some news for you. No. Remember last night, they were playing a game within the division against the Giants were the Eagles. And they played all their starters, and Jalen Hurts gets hurt. His finger. He ends up coming back in the game, but his finger was like my pinky finger. It was like mine, and they probably popped it back in. And he came back in, but that didn't mean anything. They were getting blown out like 20-0 at the time. And Jalen Hurts is also dealing with the knee injury. He's been dealing with that since the middle part of the year. So he's still hurt. He's still not healthy. And that's clear. A.J. Brown hurt his knee last night. And when I seen the play, I was like, I pray that it's not what I think it is, a torn ACL. We don't know what it is. They haven't said anything about it yet. We don't know his availability for Wild Card weekend. We don't know if he's going to play or not or what. So, this is not going to be easy for Philadelphia. Philadelphia's secondary and their whole defense just sucked all year. They did nothing well on defense that was positive the last 4 or 5 games down the stretch. They did nothing on defense that was positive at all. I'm concerned about them. No, I do not like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do not like Baker Mayfield. Y'all know this. I don't like Baker Mayfield. I don't like him. But he was able to lead them to the playoffs with a 9-8 record in the NFC South. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, those guys on the defense. You got Shaq Barrett. Devin White. That's a home playoff game for them. They're going to be ready to go. I would not be surprised if Baker Mayfield beat the Eagles, because the Eagles do not look right now. They're a depleted team, and their team is just, they don't have any momentum. The Giants played them yesterday like it was just like it was easy. Like it was just, they let the Giants just have everything their way. You would have thought that the Giants had been the better team the whole year, but the Eagles were the better team the whole year. So the Eagles went from 10-1 to like 11-5, 11-6. They only had one. They were 10-1 to start the year, and they only ended the year with 11 wins because they lost like 4 or 5 games. So I would not be surprised if the Buccaneers beat them, just because Philadelphia is a very dysfunctional team right now. They had no momentum. And Nick Sirianni, I told you guys last week that Nick Sirianni says, "Oh, we have time to fix things and everything's going to be okay." No, you don't have time to fix things. And you played your starters against the Giants yesterday, and you see what happened, that y'all lost. My Super Bowl favorites to go to the Super Bowl is both number 1 seeds, the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. That's who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl. We shall see. That's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know who you guys think is going to go to the Super Bowl and who you guys think is going to win in the wild card weekend this weekend. Thank you. That's all I have for you guys today. And enjoy the rest of you guys this week.